supposed to be doing?
We're supposed to videotape each other teaching.
I don't know if I want another teacher pointing out my faults.
Does anyone know how this is supposed to work?
You know, there's room for us to improve by observing each other teach.
The first time I filmed, I think the first year, I think it was just me and Don that filmed, and my film quality was extremely poor. I don't know that my teaching was any different, but the film quality was very hard because no one was filming me. I had to sit it down, and it didn't look very good.
Go to the back? Because some of these you can't answer with just the table won't be good enough to answer. Use the back and make a graph. Okay? Tasha, here's how you make the graph. Okay? First off, you want to label this as your y-axis, right? And you want to label this is going to be your time. Okay? And actually, this is going to be the amount of rice.
My first year experience was similar to Charles. He noticed that sound quality was bad, cameras placement was not ideal. We didn't have people to videotape us in the classroom, and so we're sort of on our own, sometimes having a student videotape. We also discovered it was really eye-opening what we looked like from the camera side.
I've only done it for 2 years, but in those 2 years, I've grown substantially. Like without this, I don't think I've grown as much. Just by collaborating, by reflecting, seeing, oh wow, that just doesn't work, or even just, oh, my voice is too high.
How many pennies did you get? 30. 30, and the water looks like it's just about ready to flow over the top.
Nah, it's gonna work.
No?
Isn't this supposed to be?
Now, you calculated how many? 28 or 29? Good. So you're going over the amount that you calculated was safe. Now drown them. Put in the extra pennies to make it drown. Well, you should have 30. Oh, you said you have 30? Oh, well then you made 30 float. That's pretty good. Your boat might have a slightly taller sides than some of the other ones.
I told you. No, I have to make it like all initiative.
One more? One more initially. See. Oh.
No, do I keep going until it sinks?
Another one over there.
Right here?
Yes, because you need to record how many it takes to sink.
What are you on, 50?
What two things does our muscle need that we just talked about, mainly?
Energy and...
What burns it? Oxygen. Oxygen. Okay, so what would happen to your heart if it did not beat faster when you ran? Lloyd, I want you to think about this. Let's not respond right away. What would happen to your heart if you did not beat faster? If it did not beat faster, if it stayed the same?
Like, you wouldn't have as much energy as you did before because your heart wouldn't give your muscles that much oxygen.
Perfect. You wouldn't be getting the oxygen you needed or the energy. So do you think you'd be able to run that fast?
No.
Something would happen.
You'll run slow and you'll get tired easily.
Probably couldn't move after a while.
Trial.
Trial 1. 3, 2, 1. Set. Really? Fire. Fire.
Fireball.
Oh no.
Fire.
Ready, set, fire.
Fireball.
Oh. That was right here. Run, Forrest.
Let's go. 1, 3, 2, 1, go.
1, go. 2.
Symmetry. At its highest point, if we were to draw a line, if we were to take a picture, stop, and do a little a line from the highest point, what do you have on both sides?
The same thing.
The same thing, right? What do you think the variables represent here? What does H represent?
Height.
Height. Our height at what does T represent? Time. Now, if you want to find the maximum height, which time value matters to you?
So it shot it up, and we weren't able to measure how high it actually went. So what we're going to do today is using the data from your catapult experiment, we're going to figure out how high each cube went and which one went the highest.
Cares. Then you would round it. Is this still higher than a 5? So you don't round it and you big idiot.
Alright? I'll make it
I say put the ordered pairs, like you're saying, right after they do the work, have them write the ordered pairs. A student had actually said that, and you said that's a great idea.
As a science teacher and knowing that graphing is a very critical part of our experience, I suggested that the spacing between each of the points on the graph should have not 8, but like 1/10 for each block, because the students can follow along much better knowing that there's 10 individual spaces between each, whereas given this set of dimensions, we would have 8 spaces between each.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I made this change this morning.
Okay, so you only have, but that's only one height, the half height.
Correct. That's only the 3 points. We discussed originally that was why we don't want to have a graph that does this and comes to a point and comes back down. By adding that fourth point, it gives it a nice little curve.
We have a lot of students in here today, so I'm going to go ahead and explain the rules so everybody can follow along nicely. That way we'll get through this and everybody will get their chance, and maybe even 2 tries if we're lucky, to see if your balloon racers can make it 5 meters.
Go! All right, go!
Reflection was like a key on this. It was really nice going through the lesson study and then reflecting and going, oh, this didn't work. This is what we can do different for the rest of the periods. So we learn from our mistakes. We work together as a team. So by putting more heads together, I think our lesson design is just more interactive, and we need more modalities by doing that.
I think one of the things that we learned was each other's strengths, and we're able to incorporate each other's strengths in our lessons. And so we're able to pull things from Latricia's lesson or Don's lesson that I saw from their videotape that I thought, oh, that was good, that was interesting. And we're able to incorporate it into our next lesson.
What I found is that the first time I introduce a play to the kids, they love it. And if they practice it, good at it, they start to get bored with it. I also found that if you have, rather than one person playing one part, unless you've got a real ham in there, it's better to get 2 or 3 kids playing the same part and reading together, so their voices are louder and they're not as embarrassed to read.